In my past life during the college entrance examination, my younger sister chose the beauty system and left me with the top student system. As a result, after my younger sister had a puppy love with a wealthy second minus generation, she was separated from her child's mother and kicked out of the wealthy family. I started a business under the title of the top scorer in the college entrance examination, and became a female CEO with a net worth of over 100 million yuan, and was pursued by billionaires. My younger sister killed me out of jealousy. When I opened my eyes again, we were both reborn. This time, my younger sister chose the top student system first sister. The title of the top scorer in the college entrance examination and the heir of the wealthy family are both mine. I smiled slightly. She didn't know that I had never relied on the top student system, and being the top scorer in the college entrance examination was the result of my own hard work. The gifts given by the system have already been priced secretly. One ding. The system is selecting. My younger sister and I were both reborn before the college entrance examination. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw my younger sister Sunny shouting excitedly, "I'll choose first. I want to bind the top student system." The top student system coldly emitted a mechanical voice. The host Sunny has been bound. The current goal is to be the top scorer in the college entrance examination. And not long after my younger sister finished speaking, the remaining beauty system bound to me. It greeted me sweetly. "Hello. Lyra, I'm the system gorgeous AI. I will make you the most beautiful woman in the world in the future." I frowned. "Thank you. But I don't need to bind the system." Hearing this, my younger sister giggled. "What beauty system? It's completely useless," she said to me mockingly. "Sister. This time I bound the top student system. The title of the top scorer in the college entrance examination and the heir of the wealthy family are both mine." I smiled. Does my younger sister really think that she can have a good life after binding the top student system? Relying on external things is just the beginning of misfortune. 2. In my past life, Sunny bound the beauty system without hesitation. My younger sister and I are twin sisters. She has been sweet minus looking since she was a child. She was raised in the city by our parents and was as delicate as a princess. Everyone liked her and she enjoyed all kinds of preferential treatments. As for me, I was sent to the countryside and raised by my grandmother. I only knew that studying could change my destiny. So I studied desperately and finally got back to the city in high school. So, when the two systems wanted to bind to us sisters at the same time, my younger sister, who had tasted the benefits brought by her appearance, immediately chose to change her destiny with the beauty system. With the college entrance examination approaching, she had a puppy love with the wealthy sect and minus generation in her class. She thought that with her beauty, she could marry into a wealthy family. She casually got a junior college diploma. However, Sunny never expected that the wealthy second minus generation got tired of her. No matter how she used the props of the beauty system to maintain a tight and plump figure and begged the other party to change his mind. She even secretly drugged him and gave birth to a child for him. The wealthy second minus generation only regarded Sunny as a woman kept outside. After his family fell into a bankruptcy crisis, he immediately broke up with her and turned to marry another wealthy daughter. He didn't bring Sunny into his own circle at all. Sunny was used to getting something for nothing. Suddenly being kicked out. After selling a few luxury bags given by the wealthy second minus generation, she, who spent money extravagantly, soon got into huge debt. In contrast to her, I became the top scorer in the college entrance examination. I was calm and confident during the media interview, talked eloquently, and became extremely popular in the news, and was called Sister Top Scorer by netizens. With the gimmick and traffic of being the top scorer in the college entrance examination, I operated my own IP, kept learning, and founded a technology company relying on technology, and became a self-made wealthy person. But just after the billionaire publicly expressed his admiration for me on the internet, Sunny, who had nothing but beauty, drove and killed me. She also, together with our biased parents, took all of my inheritance. Lyra, you've never been as good minus looking as me since you were a child. Why are you richer than me now? If I had bound the top student system, I would definitely have a better life than you. Sunny said wildly. My younger sister didn't know that I had never used the power of the top student system. I became the top scorer in the college entrance examination through my own hard work. All the achievements I made in my past life were also the result of my hard work. In this life, seeing Sunny's arrogant appearance, I shook my head. The gifts given by the system have already been priced secretly. 3. What Sunny said was not entirely wrong. The beauty system was indeed useless. And it even cost me trouble. Because it turned on the automatic beauty mode. Originally, heading till sold by himself, my face was sallow. And I had heavy dark circles under my eyes from staying up late to study. My hairstyle was a mushroom cut that I had randomly done myself to save time. After the beauty mode was on, my original freckles faded a bit. And my skin became much more delicate. The uneven short hair also looked valiant. As soon as I entered the classroom, the eyes of my classmates all turned towards me. The beauty system chattered in my mind. Wow. The girl in front rolled up the cuffs of her school uniform pants, making her legs look thin. But she's still not as thin as you. Many boys are looking at you. Especially that wealthy second minus generation. He looks very rich at first glance. Seeing that I was fully focused on tidying up my desk and completely ignored it, the beauty system said aggrievedly, why don't you pay attention to me? I'm helping you out of kindness. The wealthy second minus generation Blake was the one that Sunny was with in her past life. He whistled, put his hands in his pockets, and walked to the side of my seat. Classmate, did you go to the wrong class? I've never seen you before. This seat belongs to that rustic top student. I opened the textbook for morning reading without changing my expression, and said without looking up, if your eyes are useless, you can donate them to those in need. I'm Lyra. Please don't stand here and disturb my study. Thank you. Blake's face turned slightly pale. His family had some wealth. And he was used to being arrogant. No one had ever directly refused him like I did. Just as he was about to say something, Teacher Zhao, the head teacher, entered the classroom. He awkwardly returned to his seat in the last row. And he kept glaring at me with his eyes from behind. The beauty system let out a sharp beeping sound. How could you talk to Blake like that? His family is the richest in Qingcheng City. According to the big data, winning over Blake is currently the most likely choice to change your destiny. That's right. When the beauty system and the top student system found us, they claimed that they could change our destiny. One was to catch a rich boyfriend by becoming beautiful, and the other was to cheat in the exam. If Sunny hadn't agreed to the top student system one step ahead, I wouldn't have wanted to bind either system in this life. I was about to manually turn off the beauty mode. The beauty system immediately stopped making noise and pleaded pitifully, host. This 1- click beauty mode is free for trial today. It's all part of the newbie package. Look at the great effect. Everyone is talking about you behind your back, saying that you've become much prettier. The system was just like a rogue software that couldn't be uninstalled, trying to prevent me from turning it off. I said inferiorly. It's free today. But what about tomorrow? The beauty system stammered. Then you need to work hard to earn points. As long as you can gain the favorability of the target you're trying to win over, you can exchange for it. No wonder. After Sunny bound the beauty system in her past life, she had several backup boyfriends. Finally, heading to Feldlay to maximize her benefits, she chose to become Blake's girlfriend. I just took a fancy to his wealth and good luck. In my last life, the Studious Scholar system first gave me the Soulmates called Studious Scholar Experience Card, and it pretended to be a harmless question-searching database. Whenever I couldn't solve a problem, it would emit a cold mechanical voice, asking me if I wanted to exchange for the answer. But it never showed what price I had to pay behind it. I twirled my pen. So, your beauty system steals other people's good luck by obtaining love to maintain its operation. And the Studious Scholar system consumes the host itself. Am I right? For the beauty system didn't dare to speak. The scam it had carefully packaged to lure the parasitized to use the system was directly exposed by me. However, Sunny didn't realize the trap of the system. She thought that being bound to the system made her the chosen one. Seeing that everyone's attention was drawn to me, Sunny gritted her teeth in hatred. When the homeroom teacher, who was also the math teacher, called on someone to answer a challenging final question. And everyone lowered their heads to avoid the teacher's gaze. The studious scholar system timely popped up. A mechanical voice detected that this question exceeds the host's knowledge range. Do you want to exchange for the studious scholar's answer? Yes. I glanced at Sunny. I saw her raise her hand and confidently say, Teacher, the answer to this question is B. And she recited the answer analysis given by the system word for word. Teacher Zhao was surprised for a moment. Very good. Student Sunny has made progress. She not only answered this difficult question but also provided a new way of solving it. You can also sign up for this math competition. You know. In the top class of King Cheng No. 1 high school. Most of the students are the best among thousands of students screened from the whole province. And Sunny's parents spent a lot of money and pulled some strings to get her into this class with great difficulty. She had always been at the bottom of the class. This time, sign. Relying on the studious scholar system. Sunny finally felt proud. After class, she blocked me on my way to the restroom and said triumphantly, Lyra, without the studious scholar system, you'll just have to wait and accompany Blake to go bankrupt and starve. This time, it's my turn to get to know young Master Kingsley. Kingsley was that billionaire. I first met him at the final of the National High School Math Competition. But I was reborn not to compete with Lyra for a man. Her vision was just like that. Whatever. I replied inferiorly. Your usual test scores are only around 4 or 500. Can you even understand the stem of the competition questions? Sunny was so angry that she stamped her feet. Right in front of me. She exchanged for a studious scholar experience card that lasted for a month. And she was tricked into buying the Soulmates called Smart Pills in the system mall. She didn't listen to any of the side effects of using them and just skipped over them all. Her originally slender figure became a bit plumper. And there was some extra flesh on the back of her hand. Sunny didn't notice it and proudly pointed at my nose and said, The position of Mrs. Kingsley is mine. Don't even think about it. It's so ridiculous. I won't participate in the competition at all. 5 compared with my grandmother. A man is not worth mentioning at all. In my last life, when I went to the preliminary round of the math competition, my grandmother suddenly fell down in our hometown and died of a cerebral hemorrhage. In this life, I want to live a good life and prevent my grandmother from passing away. On the day of the competition, I asked for leave from the homeroom teacher. I took a -our bus ride back to my hometown and successfully saved my grandmother who was about to fall. Then I started to prepare for the career I had in my last life. Starting with writing the core code. Sunny didn't know this. After the final selection list was announced, when she saw that my name wasn't on it, she couldn't wait to come over and sneer at me. Yo! Isn't this my studious sister? You actually didn't make it into the finals of this math competition? Sunny said triumphantly in my ear. It seems that you're a nobody without the studious scholar system. I looked up at her. On Sunny's delicate skin, there were several red and swollen pimples on her forehead. Her originally loose and thin school uniform was now stretched tightly by the extra flesh. In less than half a month, her figure had gone up 2 sizes. These were all the consequences of using the studious scholar system. And they were the least serious ones. The competition questions were too difficult, far beyond Sunny's meager knowledge reserve. The studious scholar system harvested her beauty in exchange for the answers to the math competition. I curled my lips and said, Sunny, heading till Selvide session. Did you cheat? 6U. What nonsense are you talking about? When she saw that she had been exposed, Sunny's expression became flustered for a moment. Then she quickly calmed down and pretended to wipe away her tears pitifully. Sister, I'm just concerned about your grades. You can't be jealous of me just because I've surpassed you this time. She deliberately raised her voice and accused me. And all the classmates in the class looked over. The male classmate beside her, seeing the goddess sad, chimed in, Yeah. You're twins. Lyra has short hair and looks neither male nor female. Sunny is sweet minus looking and kind minus hearted. Although she has gained a lot of weight compared to before, she's not as stupid as she used to be. When Sunny heard others say that she had gained weight, her face darkened, and she could hardly hold back her tears. It so happened that this boy was the monitor of our class and one of her former admirers. In my previous life, after Sunny was bound to the beauty system, she deliberately sowed discord between me and my classmates. Every time she asked me questions and then left in tears. She told others that I was jealous of her beauty and secretly instigated her group of admirers to cause trouble for me. Although they ostracized me secretly, they didn't dare to bully me openly. Because my grades had never fallen out of the top 10 in the grade. In a high school where everything was judged by grades, I was undoubtedly a strong student. This made Sunny, who only had her beauty, even angrier. I smiled and said, if you think so, there's nothing I can do about it. How could I be jealous of my sister? We're twins. I'm more than happy that your intelligence has improved. However, you suddenly went from the 300th place in the grade to the top 10 in the provincial competition. I deliberately paused. I'm just afraid that you've gone astray. After I finished speaking, Sunny's face froze. After being reborn, she was too eager to surpass me. She exchanged for almost the entire set of answers to the test paper with the studious scholar system. But she forgot her own abilities. I just studied casually before. Sunny stubbornly said. A genius like me can get into Harvard as long as I put in a little effort. If you don't believe me, I'll solve a problem for you on the spot. Determined to prove me wrong, Sunny snatched the draft paper I was using for calculation from my hand. At the top was an algorithm problem that I had researched in my previous life. Sunny was completely confused. Just as she was about to exchange for the answer, the studious scholar system issued a sharp warning ding. Detected that this question exceeds the current academic research scope. All of the host's beauty points will be used for exchange. Do you confirm? Hearing that she would become ugly, Sunny hesitated for a moment. However, the classmates who were watching the scene were whispering. They all looked at her suspiciously, waiting for her to solve the problem on the spot. The school leader happened to be standing at the door of the classroom. Sunny gritted her teeth and didn't write anything for a long time. Suddenly, a steady male voice came from outside. What are you doing? The billionaire quickly walked up to Sunny and looked at me coldly. Don't you dare bully Sunny. 7 Kingsley frowned tightly. He mercilessly accused me. Student Sunny is a genius. She's the only one in the country who got the last big question right. Even Professor Prof wants to take her as his disciple. You mediocre people with an IQ of less than 150. What right do you have to question her? I looked at Kingsley. In my previous life, he had gently soothed the humiliation I had suffered because of my appearance during my growth, saying that my beauty didn't lie in my appearance but in my intelligent brain. But now he gave me a contemptuous glance and pulled Sunny away. He left me with a solitary piece of calculation paper. Kingsley has a very high IQ. And he has always been eager to communicate with geniuses of his own age. The beauty system said eagerly. Host, quickly exchange for the strategy props. That billionaire came here specifically for Sunny. You'll have no good end if you offend him. As long as you take the whitening pills and become delicate, soft, and attractive, no man will be able to refuse you. No need. I infuriately put the paper into my bag. While being busy with starting a business, I regularly exercised, basked in the sun, and ate to build muscle. The beauty system can only make people become pale, young, and thin, and try to please others. It can't increase my deterrence in terms of physical strength. I asked the system to time me during exercise, which can be regarded as making use of something that seems useless. And Sunny is probably still dreaming of becoming Mrs. Kingsley. She probably still hasn't figured it out. My achievements in my previous life never depended on the system or men. The Soulmates called studious scholar is not just about solving a single problem. It turned out that Sunny was favored by a professor from Harvard. Kingsley, the billionaire who had already been guaranteed admission, was here this time to help his supervisor assess several promising students. There were not only written tests in the form of solving problems, but also oral examinations and interviews. Rather than just focusing on scores, more attention was paid to the students' cultural reserves, as well as their vision and accomplishment. Sunny had set up a false image of a studious scholar and needed to use more lies to cover it up. She strolled on the campus with Kingsley, showing the shyness of a young girl. And her mind was full of thoughts of seducing the future heir of the Kingsley family. Just as she was about to reach out and hold Kingsley's arm, the other party paused and avoided her. Student Sunny. I've got some inspiration for that conjecture. Kingsley told his train of thought one by one. Just in time. You can help me calculate a few equations. Sunny was as confused as if she were listening to something from another world and nodded sleepily. Huh? What powder? Do you want to eat, Brother Kingsley? It's calculus. Kingsley frowned. Didn't you use it in the last question of the competition? Sunny immediately said awkwardly. Oh. I know how to do it. I almost burst out laughing. Both of their gazes quickly turned towards me. And I raised my eyebrows. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just passing by. Sunny gritted her teeth in hatred. She swallowed back the swear words she wanted to say. Facing the questions from Kingsley and the surrounding teachers and classmates, she could only keep exchanging for answers with the studious scholar system. The price was that her body swelled up like a balloon. She became irritable and had a big appetite. She gained more than 10 pounds in weight, and thick layers of fat overlapped on her neck. Her long, black hair, which had been carefully taken care of in the past, now became withered, yellow, and dry, and her hair was falling out all over the place. Those who had admired her in the past all avoided her. Only Kingsley was willing to comfort her, saying that appearance was just a shell and knowledge was the truth. However, in fact, Sunny had neither good looks nor real inner qualities. She secretly used the answers given by the system to pretend to be a studious scholar and was constantly filled with fear. When she found out that my mock exam scores had consistently ranked in the top 10 and Kingsley started asking her about my name, Sunny's eyes, which were squeezed by the fat, became even more sinister. When we went home for the holiday, she heard me talking on the phone with the boy on the balcony and rushed over angrily. She raised her hand and was about to slap me. Bitch. Are you seducing Brother Kingsley behind my back again? Ning Shenjin. I was instructing the person on the other end of the phone about matters related to starting a business. I moved my foot, and Sunny fell heavily to the ground, howling in pain. She was just about to go and cry to our parents. But instead, our parents severely criticized Sunny. Look at you. You've eaten so much that you're as fat as a pig. What a sight you are. You're not even as good as your sister. That wild girl who grew up in the countryside. The secretary of the Blake family praised your sister for her heroic spirit today. Dad said seriously. I heard that you don't even go to school now. You insist on running off to participate in some competition with an unknown poor boy. So what if you get into Harvard? It's said online that the starting salary after graduation is just so. Maybe you won't be as successful as your sister in the future. My parents kept praising me. It was as if they wanted to make up for all the love they had missed giving me over the years. I smiled sarcastically. In my previous life, after my sister and I were bound to the system, my parents thought that my good-looking sister had a better prospect of making money. If she could casually find a wealthy man, the whole family would not have to worry about food and clothing. Just like cultivating a skinny horse in ancient times. They spent all the family's money on dressing up my sister exquisitely, maintaining her figure and appearance. They thought that education was just something dispensable. I had short hair and a strong willed personality. And they thought I wouldn't be liked by men. Even though I became the top scorer in the college entrance examination, they still refused to pay my living expenses. If it weren't for my good grades, which allowed me to study tuition free and get subsidies, as an ordinary looking daughter without value like me, they would have already made me go out and work. In this life, when my parents found out that I was more favored by the Blake family, their attitude changed immediately. Sunny had never been scolded by our parents before. She was so angry that she slapped the table, and the fat on her arm jiggled. What do you two ignorant people know? The Blake family is just an upstart in the real estate business, while Kingsley is the heir of a prestigious family in the capital city. They look at education when choosing a daughter and law. Sunny had some vision, but not much. with red eyes. She said to me resentfully, Lyra, you can just sleep on the street with Blake. When I win a gold medal and get guaranteed admission, and become Kingsley's girlfriend, all of you commoners will die. But what Sunny didn't know was that her weight had reached the limit she could bear. After choosing to exchange for answers with the studious scholar system, Sunny fainted directly at the final scene of the math competition. The doctor said that it was due to excessive obesity, which led to insufficient blood supply to the brain and caused dizziness. By the hospital bed, Kingsley, who had been silently watching over her, turned around and accused me. Did you do this? Sunny showed me her previous photos and said that you've always been jealous of her appearance. Did you feed her hormones? Kingsley stared into my eyes. I will find the evidence that you harmed her. When the beauty system heard this, it started screaming in my head. Oh no, no. Sunny has caught the young master. It seems that he prefers the sweet type. Sister, why don't you get your hair extended? We can go for the love-minus-hate relationship mode and win him over. I sneered and rolled my eyes. Idiot. Then I gave Kingsley the middle finger and turned around to leave. The moment I stepped out of the hospital room, the studious scholar system suddenly approached me. It said in a cold mechanical voice, Ms. Lyra, do you want to become my host? I paused in my steps. The beauty system asked stupidly. But Sister Lyra is already bound to my system. Is it possible to be bound to two systems? It's none of your business. Go play somewhere else. The studious scholar system said contemptuously. It told me that Sunny was really a fool. After being bound to the system, she only knew how to exchange for answers and never opened the textbook to study again. There was no possibility of seeing any increase in her good luck. Her beauty had been exhausted, and her existing good luck was not valuable enough. I know you've been preparing to start a business recently, and even got angel investment from Blake's father for this purpose. And the algorithm you've been researching as a sign of my sincerity. I can give you the correct answer. The mechanical voice of the studious scholar system carried a hint of seduction. As long as you choose to agree, I can devour this useless beauty system. Knowledge, wealth, men, you can get all of them without paying any price. They are within your reach. This was a subject to which I had invested a large amount of money in my previous life but had never been able to solve. As long as I break through the crucial part of the core algorithm, I can achieve disruptive results in the field of artificial intelligence. But I don't like the feeling of being controlled by others. What's more, it's a system of unknown origin. I decline. Thanks. I fed with a smile. The beauty system can help me calculate the calories of food and remind me of my menstrual period. It's more useful to me. So, my complexion has been getting better and better, and my physical functions are better than in my previous life. The studious scholar system didn't understand, but an ordinary mobile phone can also do these things. Yes. I left the communication range of the studious scholar system and said softly, because I've never liked being controlled. You will regret it. The studious scholar system said coldly. 11. I knew that neither Sunny nor the studious scholar system would let it go. So I simply rented a house outside and moved out of my home. My parents were originally very unhappy, thinking that I had grown too independent and wanted to get out of their control. But when they saw Blake come to help me move things in person, my parents immediately changed their tune and looked flattering. I didn't expect that the young master of the Blake family would like a wild girl like you. My mother pulled me aside and cheerfully admonished me. Rich people like them go to study abroad after the college entrance examination. You should quickly get pregnant with a big, healthy baby before graduation, in case you can't see him in the future. Then you can bring your parents into the mansion. Your mother is still young and can take care of the baby for you. My parents' faces were full of greed. The beauty system said indignantly. How could there be such parents who treat their own daughter as a tool to climb into a wealthy family? It's really disgusting. In fact, I was living with my grandmother. My grandmother was old and had high blood pressure. The medical conditions in the countryside were not good. So it was more convenient to take care of her by bringing her to live with me. As early as in my previous life, I had seen through these selfish parents. I no longer expected to receive their love. It was rather unexpected to me how the beauty system reacted. What? Aren't you going to persuade me to win over Blake? Since I didn't abandon the beauty system last time and saved it from being devoured, the beauty system was almost moved to tears. It swore that it would never hurt or betray me, and would be my #1 secretary. The beauty system said disaffectionately-eyed disillusion with Blake. He doesn't deserve you at all. Except for his better birth. His ability is far inferior to yours. Men will only affect the speed at which you make money. Besides, I'm your secretary. And he's just your subordinate. He's one level lower than me in terms of seniority. The beauty system said triumphantly. On the other side, Blake was so embarrassed that his face turned red when my parents questioned him. How dare I have improper thoughts about Sister Lyra? She's my father's business partner. I raised my chin and said to my lackey, let's go. I didn't have much luggage. Just like when I was first brought back from the countryside. There were only a few school uniforms and books in my bag. Blake's family's luxury car was parked at the gate of the community. And he insisted on joining in the fun and helping me move. Just as I was about to get in the car, I met Sunny, who had just returned from the hospital, and Kingsley, who was accompanying her. My parents had never heard of the billionaire's name and thought Sunny was lying. They only went to see her once, even when she was in the hospital. Now, seeing that I had a more ruddy complexion and a more well-proportioned figure than in my previous life, and I was accompanied by a luxury car, Sunny's eyes turned red with envy. She was too obese and could only sit in a wheelchair and be pushed by Kingsley at present. But she still had the strength to smear me without hesitation. Sister, you've actually degraded yourself and been kept by a rich second-generation and even moved in with him. Before I could say anything, Blake beside me directly retorted, you're just spreading malicious rumors about your sister. Just because you're a piece of shit doesn't mean others are too. Which sewer wasn't covered properly? Allowing you to crawl out again? I really envy the skin on your face. It's so thickly maintained. Why don't you use it to make a bulletproof vest? Blake kept attacking with words. Sunny looked at him in disbelief, and her big eyes were filled with tears. You let out a low sigh. How could you treat me like this? Clearly at this time in the previous life, you still loved me. Rubbish. That's just alarmist talk. Blake put his hands on his hips and shouted. What, love or not? In the past, both you and I were at the bottom of the class in terms of grades. We never passed a math exam. And we couldn't understand the lessons. That's why I talked to you a bit more. Now you're actually participating in the math competition? Could it be that you exchanged your weight for intelligence? Blake catted. You don't seem very smart either. Sunny's face froze. And the flesh on her arm trembled slightly. She was suddenly speechless. And her expression was full of guilt. Kingsley frowned suspiciously. Student Sunny. Is what he said true? Sunny's expression panicked for a moment. At this moment, a mechanical voice of the studious scholar system suddenly sounded. As long as you're willing to pay with your lifespan. On the day of the college entrance examination, I'll give you the exam answers. I'm willing. Sunny shouted eagerly. Under the astonished gazes of everyone. She stepped on the wheelchair pedal and looked up at me triumphantly. Lyra. You just wait and see. I will be the top scorer in this college entrance examination. 12. Sunny hadn't come to school for several months. I heard that she claimed to be resting and recuperating from illness. But in fact, she was trying every means to lose weight. She attributed Kingsley's reserve and Blake's hostility to the fact that I had bewitched them with my appearance. Whether Sunny went on a diet, did aerobics, or took weight loss pills of unknown origin, it didn't help at all. Instead, she was so unlucky that she almost choked to death on the pills. The beauty system said that these were all part of the price. After the good luck decreases, it's possible to choke to death even when drinking water. If you exchange with your lifespan, it will accelerate the host's aging and death. For the studious scholar system, this is an act of harming the enemy at the cost of seriously hurting oneself. A system without the maintenance of good luck can only go into hibernation and may sleep forever. It's gambling that Sunny will turn things around by becoming the top scorer. The college entrance examination was coming soon. I paused my business and seriously reviewed. Going all out to prepare for the college entrance examination. Unlike Sunny, who could copy the answers given by the studious scholar system, I could only rely on my own brain, using the length of time to well minus proportion and the precision of understanding and increasing the possibility of surpassing the system. But what I didn't expect was that Sunny had gone crazy. She actually wanted to sacrifice Grandma's lifespan to the studious scholar system. Hearing the exclamation from the beauty system, I rushed back home from school immediately. Grandma was tricked by Sunny and drank a cup of miraculous antihypertensive water. Seeing me come, Grandma said cheerfully, Oh, both of my granddaughters are here. Sunny has grown up so sensibly. She even gave me imported antihypertensive medicine and told me to mix it with water and drink it before the college entrance examination tomorrow, saying that it can accumulate blessings for her. But Sunny disliked the remoteness of the countryside and the poor accommodation conditions. She never went back to see Grandma after growing up. She didn't have any real affection for the old lady at all. Sure enough, I snatched the bottle and took a look. The yellow oily liquid was very similar to dimethyltrosamine, a highly toxic substance. Facing my suspicion, Sunny, who had been all smiles just now, didn't even bother to pretend anymore. Yes, I just found out that you didn't participate in the math competition to save this old hag. It turns out that you still had something up your sleeve with your exam results. Sunny snorted coldly. This old woman was supposed to die anyway. So it's not too much for me to borrow her lifespan in exchange for the college entrance examination answers. Right? And the old woman has already agreed. After saying that, Sunny laughed viciously. The poison will fully take effect at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Let's see if you'll be a filial granddaughter and send her to the hospital for her last journey. Or if you'll be heartless and choose to go and take the college entrance examination instead. I couldn't bear it any longer. Seeing Sunny walking away with her chubby legs, I kicked her against the wall. The meat bomb hit the wall violently, making a loud thud. Suddenly, Sunny spat out blood. She didn't expect me to attack so fiercely, and her eyes were full of disbelief. You. How dare you hit me? Aren't you afraid that I'll call the police right now and make you stay in the detention center and not be able to take the college entrance examination? I punched hard with a blank expression. I hit you. Do I need to pick a special day for it? 13 in the end. It was the beauty system that persuaded me to stop. It told me that it had a solution. When she saw that my fist stopped, Sunny crawled away, rolling and scrambling. And she was as agile as if there was no excess fat on her body. The beauty system said there is still one beauty pill in your novice gift package that you haven't used. It can expel the toxins in the body. As long as the old person doesn't die. The contract for Sunny to borrow the lifespan will become invalid. And the studious scholar system can only provide the method of making poison. Sunny must have secretly made it in the university laboratory. We can find the evidence of her crime. After calling the police, I took Grandma to the hospital for an injury appraisal. Then, let out a low sigh. While Grandma was asleep, I gave her the beauty pill. Grandma on the hospital bed seemed to be rejuvenated, with a ruddy complexion, and all the impurities in her body were expelled. I immediately let out a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly, Grandma opened her eyes, patted my hand, and said, "Go to sleep. The college entrance examination is tomorrow. It's Grandma who has held you back. I know that when I was born, my parents only wanted one daughter, and planned to drown me. It was Grandma who took me back to the countryside and raised me. I acted cockathiously. In the past, it was you who took care of me, Grandma. Now it's my turn to protect you." On the day of the college entrance examination, I checked my admission ticket and ID card that I had brought with me and went from the hospital to the school. Coincidentally, Sunny and I were in the same examination room. She had dressed up carefully today. And there were several I- catching big characters, "I am the top scorer in the college entrance examination" printed on her hat. Suddenly, the media on the roadside scrambled to interview her. Sunny proudly tucked her hair behind her ear, not realizing how ridiculous her gesture was. Yes, I was a competition student before. The college entrance examination questions are as easy as breathing. I'm definitely going to be the top scorer in this year's exam. When she found out that I was also taking the college entrance examination, Sunny said in a sarcastic tone and pointed at me to the media. Oh, isn't this classmate Lyra? Your grandma is in the intensive care unit. And you still have the mood to take the college entrance examination? Suddenly, the media's cameras were aimed at me. But they were driven away by the police officers maintaining order. The police officer also came over to comfort me. Don't worry, kid. Do your best. After thanking him, I deliberately pretended to be sad and walked into the school classroom with Sunny. TSK, Lyra. You're just a selfish and self-minded serving person. She sat in the seat diagonally in front of me and hummed a song happily. As soon as the bell rang at 9 o'clock, Sunny shouted in her heart, "Studious scholar system. I want to exchange Mimi's lifespan for the college entrance examination answers." Exchanging. Detecting that Mimi's vital signs are normal. The exchange fails. The studious scholar system was a bit puzzled. The toxins in your grandma's body have been cleared. It's strange. Currently, having fulfilled my obsession. Human technology can't produce an antidote. How could this be? Sunny exclaimed. After being reprimanded by the invigilator, she nervously opened the Chinese test paper. She found that she couldn't even understand the material of the composition question and couldn't write a single word, under the invigilator's stern gaze. Sunny gritted her teeth and said, "Anyway, I'm still young. I'll exchange my own lifespan for the answers." Ding. Exchange successful. Sunny, feeling relieved, picked up the pen and directly copied the answers given by the studious scholar system. I didn't know about these little episodes. After the exam started, I automatically blocked out all the noise and immersed myself in the college entrance examination paper. It was the beauty system that relayed it to me later. On the last day when I walked out of the examination room, Sunny was standing at the school gate being interviewed. In these exams, she handed in her papers ahead of time and was the first to walk out of the school gate. And because she arrogantly announced before the exam that she would be the top scorer in this year's college entrance examination, she quickly became popular on the internet. Sunny wanted to imitate the path I took in my previous life and use the traffic from the college entrance examination to become an internet celebrity. Unfortunately, having fulfilled my obsession, her little plan was going to fail. Just as Sunny was talking eloquently in front of the live broadcast camera, talking about her understanding of the college entrance examination questions and her personal plans for the future, a row of police cars stopped at the school gate and handcuffed Sunny on the spot. You let out a low sigh. On what grounds are you arresting me? I'm the top scorer in this year's college entrance examination. Sunny shouted in fear and tried to push through the crowd and run away. But unfortunately, heading for Fully, she was too fat to squeeze through. The onlookers who didn't know the situation joined in the created disturbance and protested. "Officer, you must have arrested the wrong person. Right? She's still a child." Sunny and I had already turned 18 years old and were no longer protected by the law on the protection of minors. If it weren't for humanitarian considerations, Sunny wouldn't even have been able to take the college entrance examination. The law enforcement officer took out the arrest warrant. Sunny is suspected of attempted murder. The evidence is conclusive. She is now being taken back to the police station for investigation. The crowd was in an uproar. It's impossible. I clearly deleted all the surveillance footage of making the poison according to what the studious scholar system taught me. How could the police have found a clue? Sunny murmured in disbelief. However, there were all students and parents at the school gate. And the media was still live streaming online. Only after she finished speaking did she realize what she had said. Suddenly, she covered her mouth and desperately bumped into the people next to her, trying to squeeze through the gap. "You idiot! Why are you running?" The mechanical voice of the studious scholar system, which used to pretend to be cold, was now almost in a panic. It was just about to remind Sunny how to give a confession after being arrested. Someone around her threw a rotten egg at her, and everyone was cursing. Sunny was so frightened that she fainted on the spot. 14 When Sunny was taken to jail, she was still dreaming of being the top scorer in the college entrance examination. She said that she was a genius and could make contributions to the country, and that she shouldn't be locked up. However, The invigilators had long suspected that she had cheated in the exam. Both Sunny and the studious scholar system were too arrogant. Whatever is done leaves a trace. After the Education Bureau retrieved the surveillance footage and the original test papers, they found that there were no signs of Sunny solving problems on her test paper and scratch paper. She directly wrote the answers on the answer sheet with a pen, as if she was copying on the spot. Sunny didn't even look at the questions and wrote everything down in one go. But when they traced it back to the source, they couldn't find out who had leaked the answers. I revealed the existence of the system to the country. Kingsley, who didn't believe it at first, volunteered to visit the prison. Sunny was arranged in a room with a warm color scheme to talk to him. "Brother Kingsley, you're so kind. They insist that I poison my grandmother, my sister, my parents, and everyone refused to come and visit me. I'm really wrong." After saying that, Sunny wiped away the non-existent tears and pretended to be pitiful. In fact, the flesh on her face was ferocious. Kingsley paused. Actually, I'm here to discuss a problem with you." He casually asked a conjecture that hadn't been proven in the current mathematical community. Sunny smiled awkwardly. "This question is very simple. I have some ideas, but my head hurts now, and I can't think it through." However, when Kingsley said that she could perform meritorious deeds to reduce her sentence, Sunny immediately changed her tune. "System, right? I want to exchange for the answer to this question." "Are you sure?" the studious scholar system said infuriately. "This will cost you 10 years of your lifespan." Sunny was shocked. "Why? You heartless system. There were so many questions in the college entrance examination, and it only cost me 3 years of my lifespan. There was no other way." So Sunny had to agree. The moment she confirmed the exchange, deep wrinkles suddenly appeared at the corners of her eyes, and white hair grew on the top of her head, making it unbearable to look at. She didn't know that everything was recorded by the instruments hidden in the dark, including the expression on her face when she copied the wrong mathematical symbol with a pen. The researchers were excited to capture abnormal fluctuations on Sunny. For the rest of her life, she could only be guarded in jail and be used as a test subject, until humans completely master the secrets of the system. 15 After that, Kingsley apologized to me. "Sorry. I misunderstood you before." I waved my hand infuriately. "If you want to make up for your mistake, come and work for free on the project of my company." Blake was about to kick up a fuss. "Why do I only get to serve tea and water? As soon as he comes, he gets to be in the core position." Kingsley glanced at him. "Because you're stupid." The beauty system was stunned and then suddenly realized. "So the billionaire has also become my subordinate." I couldn't stop laughing. The day I became the top scorer in the college entrance examination again and received the admission notice from Harvard, the beauty system was about to disappear. Only then did I know that instead of obtaining good luck from me, it had exhausted its original energy to help me save my grandmother. It was about to fall into a permanent slumber. "Thank you, Sister Lyra." The beauty system bid me farewell. "After being bound to you, I realize that you can live a good life without relying on beauty or others. I'm not as smart as the studious scholar system. With only beauty, I'm useless. I didn't even help you much. I feel so useless," it said dejectedly. "How could that be?" I said. "It's not just reason and coldness that make one strong. Your empathy, your humility, and your learning ability are also a kind of strength. Gorgeous IA. In fact, you're the most powerful artificial intelligence." The beauty system smiled happily. At the last moment when its energy was exhausted, its nanosocally real body lay quietly in my palm. Later, I finally solved that outstanding algorithm problem. I successfully broke through the most crucial core technology of artificial intelligence, named this AI Gorgeous IA, and applied it to various industries. And I also became a well-known new technology tycoon, shining even more brightly than in my previous life. When I returned to my alma mater to give a speech, at the end of the lecture, I sent my blessings to the senior 3 students during the process of climbing a mountain. There are 2 kinds of voices that want to pull you down. One tells you to be as beautiful as a flower and indulge in pleasure. The other tells you to give up thinking and take shortcuts. I paused and then said with a smile, I walk alone through thousands of mountains. There's no need to listen to them. In my previous life, Caleb hated me for ruining his relationship with the female school bully. After marrying me by all means, he tortured me to death. Reborn into this life, he immediately distanced himself from me. Scarlet, this rebirth is a blessing from heaven. If you ever lay a finger on Violet again, I'll make your life a living hell. Be sensible and get the hell out of here. Don't even dirty my eyes. I watched his resolute departing figure and smiled. Caleb, you shouldn't have bullied me for another woman. What do you think will happen when you anger an unpredictable, sickly, and paranoid person? One in my previous life, Caleb always resented me for getting in the way of his relationship. On the eve of the college entrance examination, I didn't deliver the love letter that Violet wrote to Caleb, which indirectly caused the two to drift apart. Violet later married a fishmonger and died during childbirth. For revenge, after achieving success, Caleb married me by every means possible. During our 10 years of marriage, he brought different women home every day, sold me at a high price to other clients, and turned me into a tool for his business entertainment. Whenever he mentioned me, he would always say viciously, "You owe this all to Violet. Don't be so ungrateful." But he didn't know that I was a bit crazy. The harder he hit me, the more addicted I became to him. Later, when I got pregnant, he burst into my bedroom like a madman and grabbed my neck tightly. It was one of them, wasn't it? I never knew you were so desperate for men. Any man would do, right? Why don't you just die? Drunk. He pushed me towards the dilapidated railing. I fell from the 8th floor, and both I and the baby died. My soul looked at him, somewhat hoping that he would come down to collect my body, but he left without looking back. The adoring look in my eyes gradually faded. Caleb, you shouldn't have bullied me for another woman. If you don't love me, then go to hell. Die with Violet. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn on the day Violet blocked me at the school gate. So you're Scarlet, Caleb's childhood sweetheart. Violet chewed bubble gum and smiled at me. Her colorful hair was messily stuck to her forehead, and she was wearing a tight red camisolo. She looked nothing like a proper schoolgirl. Seeing me in a daze, there was a burst of laughter from behind as if to cheer her on. Violet threw the love letter in my face and threatened me. Good student. Go tell Caleb that I'm going to chase him. I'll wait for him here tomorrow. Make sure he comes. If you don't do it, I can beat you so bad that even your mom won't recognize you. Got it? I suddenly remembered my previous life. Back then, Violet asked me to deliver the love letter to Caleb, but I didn't. I thought that with only 3 months left until the college entrance examination, Caleb would surely know which was more important, the exam or a relationship, and he would understand me. At least he wouldn't go crazy and take revenge on me for her sake and finally kill me brutally. But Caleb, do you know that the woman you cherish was the devil who bullied me for 6 years? She was the main character in my nightmares every day. She would lead people to rush into the girls' toilet and cut off all my hair, and she would also use staples to pierce through my lip corners. I calmed myself down and obediently looked up at Violet, nodding and smiling. I'll give this to Caleb. Don't worry. Violet, in a rare good mood, rubbed my head and said to her companions with a laugh, I told you this bitch would listen to me. Believe me now? Good students are the easiest to bully. Violet patted my face casually and left with her companions. The laughter gradually faded away in the blurry wind. My face was burning, but when I came to my senses, I felt an indescribable relief from being bullied. Looking up, I saw Caleb in his school uniform, hiding under a tree not far away, observing the situation. His eyes were blazing, and he was clenching his fists, staring at me. Before I could fully recover, Caleb grabbed me by the neck. I smiled with satisfaction. There was that familiar feeling of suffocation again. Scarlet, I know you've been reborn too. To be honest, this rebirth is a blessing from heaven. If you ever lay a finger on Violet again, I'll make your life a living hell. Violet is my life. I could kill you for her in my last life, and I can do the same in this one. Be sensible and get the hell out of here. Don't even dirty my eyes. These words were so heartless. Caleb, I liked you so much. How could you abandon me for another woman? I endured the uncomfortable suffocation and stared into his eyes for a while, then smiled. Caleb, since you like Violet so much, I won't stand in your way anymore. I wish you a long and happy marriage and many children soon. Only then did Caleb let go of my neck. There was a hint of loss and surprise in his eyes. Scarlet, you'd better not play any tricks on me. Violet is my life. Squashing you would be as easy as squashing an ant. Does Caleb still think he can control me like he did in the previous life? In the last life, he was a CEO Matachiwarada, holding the reins of capital. But in this life, he's just a poor student. I wiped away the unruly tears and nodded obediently. I won't play any tricks. I truly wish the two of you well. But Caleb, could you allow me to be your backup? I can't live without you. Really? Perhaps because I was crying so pitifully. Or maybe because of the guilt from killing me in the last life. Caleb was stunned for a while and then agreed. Scarlet, if you had been this obedient in the last life, how could I have killed you? As long as you don't hurt Violet, I'll let you stay by my side. I nodded vigorously, trying my best to prove my sincerity towards him. But my sincerity will never be given to a man who hurts others for his own selfish desires. Staying by your side, making you willingly submit to me as I grow stronger and become inseparable from me. And then I'll send you to hell. How about that? 3 Without my interference. Caleb and Violet got together 2 months before the college entrance examination. They rode a motorcycle, kissed wildly in the rain, and got into fights over trifles, vividly demonstrating the unrestrained love of teenagers. Every time I passed the school gate, I could see Caleb in a black leather jacket, wearing stylish earrings, waiting for Violet on her way. Violet, like a butterfly, flew into his arms in her tight camisalo. The two kissed at the school gate, ignoring everyone's stares, dazzling everyone. I gripped the strap of my school bag tightly and walked carefully past them, but Violet grabbed me. With her exquisitely made-up face, thick foundation, and exaggerated colorful eyeshadow, Violet smiled at me. Caleb, look, your childhood sweetheart still has a crush on you. Do you want to go home with her? On Caleb's handsome face, there was nothing but wariness and impatience towards me. Violet, you know I only have eyes for you. She's nothing. Just for fun. Hearing this, I suddenly remembered when he married me by all means in the previous life. At that time, he said he would be good to me for the rest of my life, that he understood everything I did was for his own good, and that he wanted to live a good life with me. Caleb, I never doubted your sincerity back then, but your sincerity changed so quickly. You deserve to die. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'll leave now. Violet slapped me in public and cursed at me, saying, don't think I don't know you've been secretly in love with Caleb. How dare you covet my man? You don't deserve it. You're just a bitch. Scarlet. As she spoke, she snatched my school bag despite my struggle and emptied everything inside. Among them was the diary I wrote when I was secretly in love with Caleb. Violet picked it up, opened it, and read it out loud in front of everyone. For December 23rd. Caleb talked to me today. He said his mom asked him to go home with me. I'm so happy. Finally, I have a reason to be with him more. I think I must like Caleb too much. I never knew you were such a slut. Scarlet. There were gasps from the crowd. Caleb stared at me in surprise. I remembered that I had never told him about my secret crush on him in my previous life. I felt like my secret was like a beached fish, dragged to the shore to struggle for survival. Caleb, you shouldn't have allowed Violet to bully me. Caleb, I know you really like Violet now. I can never compare to her. It was wrong of me to pester you before. Let me atone for my sins. Okay? Caleb's face clearly darkened, while Violet smiled with satisfaction. You do have the potential to be a bitch. At least you know your place. Really? They're going to regret it soon. The next day, I was sitting in the classroom, quietly doing my homework when I heard the chatter of my classmates outside. Do you know Caleb? The top student in our school? He got into a fight for Violet on his way home yesterday. The other guy even cut off Caleb's nose with a knife. I heard that the guy who hit him was Violet's ex from her previous school. Could it be that he was jealous seeing Violet with Caleb? That's so cruel. There are only a few days left until the college entrance exam, and Caleb is in the hospital. Do you think he can still do well? I doubt it. He already dropped to the bottom of the grade last time. He'd better go home and roast sweet potatoes. Hearing this, the pen in my hand slipped. I was the one who hired the guy to beat Caleb. I just wanted to teach Caleb a lesson. But I didn't expect it to be this serious. If Caleb doesn't die by my hands, I'll feel guilty for the rest of my life. I walked out anxiously and accidentally bumped into a warm embrace. The youthful hormonal scent of a teenager filled my nostrils. Subconsciously, I wanted to see who it was. A gentle voice reached my ears first. Long time no see, classmate Scarlett. 5 Silas. The quietest person in the class. An orphan. His mother died giving birth to him, and his father drank himself to death. Everyone said that getting close to him would bring bad luck, and he had never said a word to anyone. In my previous life, I don't remember having any dealings with him. I only vaguely recall that he became a business tycoon on a par with Caleb, Caleb's enemy, and he always beat Caleb down, leaving him no chance to fight back. Every time I saw him, he had his head down. I never knew he had such beautiful eyes. Like bright stars, or like the deep ocean. I was stunned for a moment by these beautiful eyes. Get out of the way, I said. Give me a reason, classmate Scarlett. If you're going to the hospital to see Caleb, I advise you to give up this idea. He had no intention of moving aside. Instead, he smiled and reached out to stop me. You know Caleb doesn't like you, but you still keep going. What? None of your business? I frowned in annoyance. As soon as I said that, I saw a hint of resentment and unwillingness in his eyes. The next second, he grabbed my arm tightly, his lips bitten red. His voice was shaking, as if he was trying hard to hold something back. If you dare to go, his fate will be even worse. He only lost his nose this time. Next time, it could be worse. What do you mean? I shook him off and asked. Whoever you love, I'll kill. I was stunned for a moment. I stared into his deep eyes again and again. It wasn't until I saw his red, angry eyes that I was sure this guy was like me. And he seemed even crazier than me. You're really sick. I pushed him away and walked out the door, not caring about the almost crazy look in his eyes behind me. When the class bell rang, Caleb limped into my sight. Scarlett, didn't I warn you not to hurt Violet? But you're still so ruthless. She's my life. You touched her? Scream breakthrough to 6. I really thought Caleb came to comfort me and make up with me. If it weren't for the fact that he was limping, with a thick bandage on his nose, and looking at me viciously. He walked up to me, grabbed my neck, and slapped me hard twice. Scarlett, you're so cheap. You hired someone to trouble Violet. Have I been too nice to you? You'd better be glad Violet is okay. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without knowing how. That indescribable feeling of pleasure came again. I looked up at him and smiled, ignoring everyone's stares. Caleb, you're really protecting her? Huh? For her sake, are you going to throw away your future and status? But it doesn't matter. As long as you come back to me, I can help you. Shut up. You're just a bitch. Caleb pushed me hard towards the railing. I almost fell because I lost my balance. Suddenly, I sobered up. In my previous life, Caleb pushed me down like this, without any pain or hesitation. When the police called him to come and collect my body, He hung up because he already had a new woman by his side. That woman was Violet, who came back from the dead. He made an extremely elaborate plan to deceive my trust and steal my property, just so he could be with his beloved and live happily ever after. Go and apologize to Violet and give her 200. I might forgive you this once. Caleb frowned in disgust and said arrogantly. In my previous life, I might have obeyed Caleb's orders unconditionally. I would have let him give me to other men, let myself become his money-making tool. Even when I was pregnant with his child, I would have let him beat me. But how could there be such a good thing in the world? I slapped him back in public and sneered, "Go to hell. You're just a freeloader." Caleb stared at me in disbelief, as if wondering where I got the guts to hit him, and I turned around and left, not caring about the curses Caleb shouted after me. When I passed the classroom door, Silas leaned against the doorframe and smiled at me. "That's interesting. Classmate Scarlett." I pushed him away. You, too. Get lost. 7 Violet wasn't hurt at all. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had the energy to bring people to smash my home to pieces and film me being violated by the hooligans she brought, right in front of my parents. As she filmed, she burned my arm with a curling iron and said vindictive lie, "You're so tough, Scarlett. You dared to hire someone to hit me. Don't you just hate me for taking Caleb away? He's just a man. I'll pay you back with 10 or 8 men now." I was completely defenseless. My parents could only watch helplessly as their most beloved daughter was being humiliated by those men. The whole thing lasted from sunrise until sunset. Violet and her gang ransacked my home and even set it on fire before leaving. I was tortured black and blue. My parents were crying over me. "This is a villa area. How did they get in? Call the police. We have to call the police." Suddenly, I remembered my previous life. My parents loved me the most. When Caleb came to my home to say he wanted to marry me, neither of them agreed. It's true that Caleb has a big business, but his character is too bad. He built his business on the lives of others. You'll suffer if you follow him. I was so infatuated with Caleb that I insisted on marrying him, only to end up losing my life and that of my unborn child. My parents were also forced to jump off a building by Caleb. Thinking of this, I held my mom's hand as she was about to call the police. "We do need to call the police. But not now. I installed surveillance cameras upstairs." "Mom, Dad, do you trust me?" My mom nodded while crying and asked me, "But honey, are you in pain?" At this time, the soaring flames were about to swallow our home. I forced myself to get up and dragged my parents to run outside. But when we got to the door, we found that the doorknob had been jammed by Violet. This was unexpected. I thought our family was going to die here tonight. Suddenly, the door was kicked open. The firefighters in protective suits came in first. They were like gods. Then Silas came in, looking worried. He was dirty and his clothes were in tatters. When he saw me, tears fell from his red-rimmed eyes. "Do you know how long I've been looking for you?" I was flattered that Silas was so concerned about me. In both this life and the previous one, I hardly ever talked to him. We just greeted each other politely and then went our separate ways. No one expected that he would rush into the fire and protect me like I was a precious treasure. "What do you want from me, Silas?" As you can see, I've always been the target of Violet's bullying. Even liking Caleb was wrong. "Aren't you afraid of getting into trouble if you get too close to me?" Silas, wearing his torn school uniform, followed me. The streetlight cast a long shadow in front of us. After a long while without getting a response, I turned around to look at him. He pulled me into his arms. The smell that belonged to a boy surrounded me, and I was stunned for a moment. "Scarlett, don't you have a heart? I've been looking for you for so long, and the first thing you do is push me away. Do you really hate me that much?" I vaguely felt that my shoulder was getting wet. It was his tears. Panicking, I didn't know what to do for a moment, so I pushed him away forcefully. "Silas, we don't seem to be that familiar. The moonlight shone through his long and thick eyelashes and burned the back of my hand. He took a deep breath and smiled at me. Yes. We're not familiar. Listen to me. Stay away from Caleb. He's not a good person. I felt like teasing him. So, you're a good person? I thought he would say yes. But Silas shook his head with a bitter smile. I just want to warn you. Your feelings can kill people. Whoever you like, I'll kill. Whoever you love, I'll make their life a living hell. Scarlett, just love me only. Isn't that good? I was familiar with that look in his eyes. It was the look I often gave to my prey. If I refused, he might go crazy right away. I patted his head and curved my lips. Only love you. Do you deserve it? Don't think too highly of yourself. Classmate Silas. Hearing this, he pinned me against a tree, his right hand firmly around my waist, and asked me, what if I say I must? What do you want? I smiled and tried to push him away. He hugged me tightly. I want you to love me. Scarlett. Beg me. I said. I beg you. He shamelessly clung to my neck, his voice getting softer. I smiled. Actually, he's quite cute. During the days I spent with Silas, I seldom thought about Caleb and Violet, until the day of the college entrance examination. I ran into an enraged Caleb at the examination site again. Violet was red-faced, scolding him in front of everyone, asking him to skip the college entrance examination and go to the bar with her. Caleb was angry because she made him lose face in public and had been holding back his temper. Can't you at least pick the right place to make a scene? This is the college entrance examination. It's very important to me. Can't you be more sensible? Violet didn't buy it and started to mock him. I'm not sensible. Caleb, don't be so ridiculous. If you want someone sensible, go find someone else. Don't find me and then expect me to be sensible. That bitch Scarlett is sensible. Why don't you go to her? As soon as Violet finished speaking, Caleb slapped her. Violet wasn't the kind to take a beating quietly. She hit back right away. The two of them started fighting at the entrance of the examination hall without caring about the occasion. Finally, they were taken away by the police who arrived in time. When Caleb was being dragged away, he looked at me for help, but Silas, who came to hold an umbrella for me, blocked his view completely. Have some water. Good luck with the rest of the exam. I took it with a smile, ignoring Caleb's snake-like glare behind me. Okay. You too. I coldly stared at the direction where Caleb and Violet were being forcefully dragged out of the examination hall. Do you feel sorry for him? Silas said angrily. Are you kidding? Look. He seemed to be cursing me when he was just dragged away. What do you think he was cursing about? Maybe that you ignored him. Because he's discovered Violet's true face. He realized that she's a bad person, a burden who will make him lose face in his future. He cursed me because his wish to always be above me has been shattered. But it's a pity. My life and his will be completely different this time. Caleb, do you think you'll regret it? That year, I was admitted to Tsinghua University as I wished. 3 years later, I was recommended for postgraduate study. During my school years, I participated in an e-commerce entrepreneurship project, won the appreciation of a mentor, and founded my own company, earning my first 10 million. During this period, Silas was always with me. We jointly built a business empire where we reigned supreme. Our relationship was stable and envied by others. I was so happy that I thought I would never meet Caleb again in this life. Until one day after work, he stood at the entrance of my company, looking haggard, and said he wanted to get back together with me. I know now that Violet is crazy. She ruined my life. Now I can only be a fishmonger, killing and selling fish. Now I finally understand that only you really love me. Can we just pretend that nothing happened before and get back together? I really love you, Scarlett. I beg you. Please love me again. Okay? I caught the key point in his words. Are you saying that Violet has been released from prison? I called the police right after the college entrance examination. Violet led people to rape me and steal my property. The evidence was conclusive, and she was sentenced to 7 years in prison. I felt that no matter how much Caleb loved her, he wouldn't get back together with her. After all, he cared most about his reputation. Who knew that I had underestimated him? It seemed that he was becoming more and more shameless. Yes, but she cheated on me 3 or 4 times in broad daylight. I've completely broken up with her and drawn a clear line. Now I only have you in my heart. Believe me, Scarlett. Don't worry. I won't be a failure forever. As long as you give me money and connections, I will definitely become as successful as I was in the previous life and let you enjoy all the wealth and glory with me. Don't forget, I have a business mind. With your investment, I can make money multiply. I smiled and tittied my hair casually, replying, really? Since you have a business mind, why haven't you made a comeback in any of these 7 years? You know those who started from scratch. They were as penniless as you once. It's hilarious. I have money and connections. I can invest in anyone. Why should it be you? Scarlett, I know you're still mad at me. Let me atone for my sins, okay? I'll do whatever you ask me to. Caleb came up and grabbed my hand, refusing to let go. I smiled. He probably didn't know that I wanted him dead. Are you sure you'll do whatever I ask? Sure. Fine. Then be my dog. When you manage to make me happy, I'll naturally give you what you want. Really? Really? Send you to hell. Finally getting rid of Caleb, I looked up and saw Silas leaning against the Maybach. He was holding my favorite strawberry cupcake, frowning, and glaring at me angrily. 11 downstairs at the company. I carefully opened the car door and was yanked into the car by the person inside. Silas's well-defined fingers clasped my waist. He reclined the car seat and leaned over me forcefully. The dim light shone on his angular side face, making his beautiful bone structure look even more stunning. Tell me, why did you keep him around? He groaned, burying his face in my neck, and his hot breath swept over me. I was so aroused by him that I could only mumble and reply, it's my business. It has nothing to do with you. Hearing this, he pushed forward suddenly, his fingers caressing my back as they looped around my waist, menacingly saying, nothing to do with me? Scarlett, have I been too nice to you these years, making you forget that I have a temper too? I was so numbed by the tingling sensations that I wrapped my arms around his neck. Silas, stop. Let's talk properly, okay? I remember telling you before that whoever you love, I'll kill. If you're obedient, get rid of him. Otherwise, I won't mind locking you up. I was really annoyed because he had done this before. He locked me in a cramped room, brought me meals at fixed times every day, and forced me to call him husband. It was a strange kind of cozy situation. However, he was just too crazy. Sometimes the things he did were so abnormal that even I was shocked. So I didn't really want to touch his sore spot again until today. I have my own ideas and judgment. Silas, you can't interfere. He didn't listen at all until he drained all my energy. I slumped into his arms. He looked at me as if I were a magnificent work of art. Mine? He stroked my face and said to himself. I was exhausted. He kissed my lips and held me tightly in his arms. You're mine. Tell the person outside the car to leave. Tell him to go as far away as possible. 12 I didn't listen to Silas. Instead, I recruited Caleb into the company as the general manager with a starting monthly salary of 100. Silas was so angry that he didn't talk to me for 3 months. But he didn't know that I had my reasons for doing this. Now that Violet was out of prison, once Caleb got rich, she would definitely come back to him. I couldn't even imagine how exciting the drama would be then. Sure enough, in the first week of Caleb's appointment, Violet showed up. This was also the first time I had seen her again after 7 years. When I saw Violet, she was wearing an exaggerated plus-size t-shirt. Her makeup was smeared all over her face, and she was sitting at the company entrance, making a scene with her unstoppable flab. Caleb, you're so unfaithful. Men turn bad when they have money. I never disliked you even when you were a fishmonger. Now that you're successful, you abandon me and our daughter. How cruel of you. I'd like to see if this big company can still keep you after you lose face today. 7 years had passed, and it felt like a lifetime ago. It was hard for me to connect this ugly, fat woman in front of me with the carefree, rebellious girl from back then. A crowd had gathered to watch the fun, and I was at the front. Violet spotted me at a glance. Noticing that others called me General Manager Scarlet, she suddenly grabbed my collar. Scarlet? Why is it you? You're the one who recruited Caleb, aren't you? You did it on purpose to disgust me, didn't you? You were a slut in school. Now that you're rich and powerful, you're still so annoying. Be sensible and go get Caleb. Otherwise, I'll smash this place up. Someone stepped forward to reason with her, but I held them back. Talking to smart people, every word counts. Talking to fools, no matter how much you say, it's all in vain. Go and get Caleb. 13. While waiting for Caleb, I shook off Violet's hand that was gripping me. This dress is expensive. You can't afford to damage it. Violet was fuming with anger and tried to hit me. I hit her first. Do you think you're still the domineering delinquent girl from back then? Wake up. Look where you are and who's in charge here. Violet was so enraged that she said, do you think you're so great just because you have some stinking money? I tell you, I still have the video of you having sex under a man. So what if the police forced me to delete it? I have countless backups. You don't want everyone here to see that video, do you? My fingers clutching the corner of my clothes trembled violently. Although I said I didn't care, there had always been a knot in my heart. After all, those things really happened. Now that Violet was using these unbearable memories to attack me, she could just go to hell. When Caleb arrived, Violet was still crying and making a scene on the ground. Everyone's eyes were on Caleb and Violet. Caleb was most afraid of losing face. He grabbed Violet and tried to leave. You bitch. What are you crying for? You've ruined my whole life, and now you want to ruin my great future. Have you no sense of shame? Violet pushed him away and cursed, I have no shame. I ruined your life. Wasn't it your choice to give in to temptation? If you were going to regret it, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Now you regret it and blame me instead. You're such a hypocrite. Don't you forget whose idea it was to go to Scarlet's home to teach her a lesson. I took the blame for you, and now you're crossing the river and tearing down the bridge. I'd like to see if Scarlet finds out about this, whether you can still stay here. Pah. You're a lowlife with delusions of grandeur. Still thinking of climbing to the top by relying on a woman. Being a fishmonger is too good for you. Scum. 14. Caleb's face turned red and then white from the scolding. On the verge of a breakdown. Watching this dog-eat-dog scene, I suddenly felt nauseous. Once, I regarded Caleb as my salvation. I was willing to die for him. Little did I know that he was already rotten to the core. Violet. Don't push me. Caleb slapped Violet backhandedly, and then beat her brutally in front of everyone. It was even more brutal than when he hit me in the previous life. Violet hit her head on something heavy and passed out. Caleb walked up to me on his own and apologized. I'm sorry, Scarlet. I should have seen through her earlier. I've let you down. Can you forgive me? Please, other and lover forced me to apply. I'm begging you. I gave him a polite smile and motioned him to look at the things Violet had smashed. With your current salary, you can afford to compensate for the things Violet broke. But you can't afford to compensate for the company's reputation. You'd better go through the resignation process today. There's no other way. After I finished speaking, I turned around and left. Caleb knelt down with a thud and burst into uncontrollable sobbing. Scarlet. I beg you. I really can't afford to lose this job. Isn't there any way to make up for it? Caleb. The gods are watching what people do. As long as a person exists in this world, there will be indelible memories. It doesn't matter what you do. The key is the company's reputation. Having said enough, I walked away from the crowd faster and faster. leaving Caleb stunned in place, as if he had made some firm decision. Just a few steps out of the door, I couldn't help but vomit, perhaps disgusted by what had just happened. I vomited so violently that it seemed like I was going to throw up my intestines. Lacking support, I lurched to one side, and a warm hand firmly held my waist. Then came Silas's voice, full of disappointment. "You're feeling this sick and you still blocked me on WeChat. How dare you? 15 Silas. Why are you so fierce?" I pushed him away and walked out. Suddenly, everything went black, and I fell into Silas's arms. I felt that Silas was really about to curse me out at that moment, because he was still holding my favorite strawberry cupcake, which was now flattened by me. I woke up again in the hospital. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Silas pacing back and forth in front of the hospital bed. Seeing that I was awake, he said to me, both surprised and resentful, "Why didn't you tell me you're pregnant? Are you that reluctant to marry me?" So, he had found out after all. I avoided Silas's gaze and whispered, "Not really. Mainly because you were still mad at me. If I told you, you'd definitely stop being angry. And what if it messed up my plan?" This made Silas so angry that he ignored me for another 2 or 3 days. "I'm really at your mercy in this life," he said. When I heard about Caleb and Violet again, I had already been in the hospital for over half a month. Silas peeled an orange while telling me, "Speaking of which, Caleb is really ruthless." Seeing that he couldn't handle Violet, he directly bought a knife and attacked her in the mall. She died on the spot, and he was sentenced to death. Now he's locked up in prison. I listened quietly, without a single change in my expression. Silas asked me somewhat puzzled, "Was this your plan all along? Let Caleb and Violet fight each other so you could reap the benefits?" "Why weren't you this smart in the previous life?" 16 Silas probably realized he had let something slip and tried to gloss it over with a smile. I immediately grasped the key point. "How do you know about the previous life?" Silas stopped peeling the orange and slowly explained. After listening, I recognized that he was the little boy I gave a steamed bun to in the orphanage when I visited with my parents in the previous life. He remembered me for 2 lifetimes because of that one steamed bun, while I didn't recognize him at all. "Why are you so good at hiding? Damn Silas." My tears fell on the back of his hand like raindrops, and he wiped away my tears with his fingers. He comforted me, "It's not too late now. I've always been here." The setting sun fell on his flawless face, making him look incredibly handsome. The day before the execution of the death sentence, Caleb asked to see me. I went. His hair was completely white, and he looked haggard, as if he had aged 10 years overnight. "Scarlett, I underestimated you. You're far smarter than I thought. You used me to kill Violet. Your calculations were so precise and ruthless. Now that I'm about to die, you must be very happy, right?" I looked at him expressionlessly. "Without the slightest triple on my face, there's nothing to be happy about. Your death was inevitable. I'm here to tell you this time that I'm getting married. It's to Silas. Remember him? In the previous life, he was your enemy, the one who always had the upper hand over you. We're very much in love. I hope you won't curse us down there. I should have known. After you died in the previous life, he chased me and tried to kill me for 2 whole blocks. I couldn't shake him off, and I finally died at his hands. At least you can be happy with him. But I still want to ask one last question. Did you ever love me?" Caleb waited for my reply with anticipation, but all he got was my silence. Until he was forcibly taken away by the prison guards, I stared at his be unwilling to back, and then walked out resolutely. Silas was leaning against the car, waiting for me, with an arrogant smile on his face. I trotted into his arms. "I only love you, Silas." "Me too," he said.